Mr. Jax Taylor, where does one begin? Listen, we cover it all with Jax. We sat down with Jax. I find this conversation and all the parts there too so interesting. We sat down with Jax basically before the Valley was announced. He was talking about a show he was pitching. I was like, yeah, right, Jax. We all pitch a show, right? It was the Valley. Who knew? So before Scandival, before the Valley, before his separation from Brittany, we sat down with Jax. Now, I'm going over these videos. I'm going over this chat, and I find it so interesting. These have never before been seen. Well, we're going to share these with you. I find it so interesting looking back because I mean, I also don't think the Valley, no shade, would have been greenlit if it wasn't for Scandival. I've said that before. So this was before all of that. So when Jax was talking about the show he was pitching, I was like, yeah, right. Little did I know, but it's so interesting foreshadowing the Valley. And I mean, just of course, I'm reading into so many things that he says now about his marriage to Brittany, now that they're being separated. I mean, this wasn't that long ago, but this chat supersedes all of that. So, did we see Easter eggs in there? Did we see some foreshadowing? I don't know, but let's listen. Let's see what we can find out.
That crazy person at the time, I wouldn't want to be my own friend. You know, I had triggers. Definitely had triggers, and I'm learning to cope with them and how to deal with them. But I think age, growth, marriage, a baby helps you grow up.
Yes, and yes, and yes. And it's almost like you, and this is not a bad thing. I mean, it's almost like you knew the job and you became a caricature of yourself, which I think a
Yeah,
lot of people do on reality TV. Like you are making money, you know what they want. You don't even try to do it, it just
it just
happens.
happened, and I was an easy target. You know, they got the cast could always know, hey, listen, if something's not happening, we'll just blame Jax, or we'll just yell at Jax, or we'll start a fight with Jax. I was kind of like the, I don't know what you want to call the scapegoat to a lot. You know, if people felt like they weren't getting a lot of screen time, let's start an argument with Jax, or let's start something with Jax, and that'll spiral out of control because that's what usually happened. And um, I think maybe now, now that I think about it, we are talking about, the reason maybe the ratings are a little lower is because they don't have anybody to escape to anymore. You can't just go out and yell at somebody because they know, like, I'll take it. Maybe that could be one of the reasons. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's growth, man. And I feel like if you don't grow, then, like I said, there's a problem. There's a problem. I don't have an option. I don't have a option. I don't really have a choice. I have a baby now. I need to be a father figure. I need to be on all the time. I need to see that. My dad was a good dad. My father was the most amazing father in the entire world. And I just look up to him, and I want to work my ass off, whether if I have to work 5 jobs, to put him in the best schools or put him whatever he needs to be in. And that's what I'm going to do. It's all about him now and in my family. And that's all I care about. The selfishness, the Jax selfishness is gone. And that's what I used to be. I was a very selfish person. I didn't care about anybody. I didn't care about who I hurt. I was living for myself, doing what I want, when I wanted. There was no repercussions. And I didn't care. I didn't care. But now I have a lot to lose. So a lot to lose, a lot. So, and I don't want to mess anything up. I don't. Don't get me wrong. That little demon, that little devil on my shoulder, he's there. He's quiet. Used to be a lot louder, but he's still there. I mean, I have to work hard on myself constantly every day to make sure that I'm always doing the right thing. Where we live, my circle of friends, it doesn't make it easy. There's temptation everywhere, but you got to work through it.
So do you look back and say, like, wow, like, like pat yourself on the back, take a lap? It's a lot of people, just because they have a child and they're in their 40s and they have a wife, they don't do the right thing every day.
No, they don't. They don't. But I just, I feel so much better. It's such a weight lifted off my shoulders. Doing the right thing. Who would have thought? I always thought being the destructive person that I was the right way. I always thought, okay, this is what they want from me. This is who I'm going to be. But little I know, being a better person, it even feels better. And it's not about, maybe they might not want that. Maybe they miss the destructive Jax, but I feel better. I don't have to live up to that person that I was anymore. And like, am I doing enough? Am I doing enough chaos to make everybody happy? Am I taking, and now I'm actually putting myself first a little bit, and I feel better about it because I was raised a very good person. My parents were very, very, they raised us, my sister and I, very, very well. I came to Hollywood and I just lost all that and became somebody else. And it happens. It's just like the song, Blinded by the Light. You get blinded. You're out here. The temptation is real. There's you're like an adult candy store. You can do anything and anything you want all the time. There's going to be consequences, but you can do anything you want here. So you just really need to focus. Takes some longer than others. Me, it took a little bit longer, like I said, I go back to Brittany, she saved me in a lot of ways, and she took a lot of flack for it too in the beginning, a lot of flack. And the fact that she stuck around is amazing. And like I said, she's my life, she's my world, and my son, they're my life and my world. And like I said, all I care about is making them happy every day. I go to bed making them happy, and I wake up making them happy. That's my job.
I love it. Final two questions as we wrap up. Do you want more kids? And if so, like, is there a real plan? Are you guys working on that? Is this a real thing?
Yeah, there is a plan. We are planning on having another child. Again, we have some projects right now that are kind of getting in the way of that. But also, I want Cruz to be a little bit older first before the next one comes. It'd be nice for him to be almost out of diapers before we get the next one in diapers. But the plan is to have another one. Maybe I'm thinking at the end of January, maybe. No, nothing for certain yet. But yes, we do want to have another one. It would be nice to have some help. I'd like to have my mother-in-law move here. I've offered, not a lot of guys have a good relationship with their mother-in-laws, especially to have them move into their homes. I definitely wouldn't mind my mother-in-law moving in here. We have a big enough house where if she would like to move here, that'd be great. But taking out another child without any help is a tough thing. And then trying to have your own career at the same time. So we have some things to work out, but yes, there is a plan for another one. I definitely want to have another one. I grew up with a sibling. He needs a sibling, and yeah. So that, yes, to answer your question, yes, at some point.
And just one, or do you, I'm not saying there should be more.
No, one and done. We have one more and snip for me.
I get it. And you guys, it sounds like with all these projects and maybe moving your mother-in-law, I know like when Brittany was here, she talked maybe about Kentucky. I know you've talked about Florida. It sounds like you guys might be staying in Hollywood, LA.
I keep driving it. I can't believe that she wants to stay and I want to go. It used to be the other way around. Like for the last 7 years, it was like, are we done yet? Now I want to go. No, it's nothing against California. I love it here, but it ran its course for me. I want to go back where family. It's family to me. We have no family here. We see our Instagram of our family members. All the kids are getting together, the cousins. And when you get to a lot of my friends here, I have a dad group chat. Everyone's gone. Everyone's moved either back to Texas, Florida, the Midwest, Vegas, wherever. But my circle has gotten a lot smaller here. Now everyone's having kids. Everyone's starting the next chapter of their lives. Everybody's moving back to the Midwest where things are a little bit calmer. Taxes are a little lot easier. Things are a little less expensive because now I have a child to raise. I got to budget this. I want to put them through college. It's not a cheap place to live here. I miss the suburbs. I've always wanted to get out of the suburbs. Now I miss the TGI Fridays. I miss the strip malls. I miss Applebee's. I miss just the normal. I grew up in the suburbs, the cookie cutter lifestyle, which I hated when I was younger, but now I want to go back to. Little league practice on Saturdays, going to church on Sundays. I miss the suburbia life. And I can't believe I'm saying that, but I miss it. So yes, the end game is to leave here, whether we go to Kentucky or Florida, I don't know. I'm going to leave that up to my wife, whatever she wants to do. But yes, at some point we are going to leave California. I can't raise my child here. I can't. It's just not what I want for my kid. Nothing against it. It's not for everybody, but for me, I'm a Midwest boy. Brittany grew up in the South. We just have different ways that we want to raise our kids. We want land and just farm animals and just, like I said, the suburbia. I want to drop my kid off at school and it's little league practice on Saturdays and things like that. It's tough to do in the Valley where we live.
Jax and Brittany take Kentucky part 2.
Yeah, that would be great, right? Now what?
Now what?
We go now.
And final question, unless you want to bring up anything else after what you could. Do you regret anything like from your time on the show? We've seen the highs and lows. Like, do you regret anything?
I think we all know what I regret. I think the main thing is hurting Brittany. I think that is my only regret. I don't want to dive back too much into that, but I was going through a really bad time. And I'm not justifying what I did at all. What I did was the most disgusting thing you can possibly do. But I lost my dad in that same month. My life was destructive. I was trying to sabotage my life. That's what I used to do, was sabotage myself.